Obey yourself or no one else will. If I cannot do as I say, no one else will do as I say, right? Follow my example. Follow your own example or no one will follow you. Important. Welcome in. Much love. Trav here and some real talk to try to help y'all get to where you're trying to get faster, be the person you want to be, move, think, feel better, grow faster. You have to do as you say. You have to obey yourself. You have to follow your own orders. This is a big rift between the do's and the not doers, the doers and the not doers, the haves and the have-nots, the successful and the unsuccessful. As the successful people obey themselves. When they say, I'm going to do this, I do it, right? We call that willpower, self-willpower. We call that discipline. And people who don't have it, they say they're going to do something, they don't do it, you don't do it, you lose your own respect for yourself. You now have there's a leaf in the wind at this point because you can't even control yourself. You just hope that things happen, you do the right things, and other people aren't going to follow you or follow your example either. So, give y'all an example. So, for me, here's a story from my childhood. Growing up, and my parents did a good job in a lot of ways. My dad taught me the value of hard work. This is a hard-working man, very hard-working immigrant grinder. He killed it. He made a lot of money in a really cool niche. He made it as an entrepreneur. But one thing that he wasn't great at, and this is important because it left a legacy in me of things I needed to change, is obeying himself. He had this language, one more, we'll do one more, play one more game, and then it's fucking late at night. One more, we play one more. Well, one more, another one more, right? We'd play online games together. That was fun, right? But that was not good teaching, right? One more drink, and then suddenly, too many drinks in. Unfortunately, I didn't inherit that because my parents taught me they showed me the dangers of that. So I didn't inherit that problem. But definitely going to adulthood, I inherited the problem of not obeying myself. I inherited the problem of saying, I'm going to do one more of these, and then suddenly hours pass and it's 4 a.m. and I haven't gone to sleep. And the habit of saying, tomorrow I'm going to do this, I'm going to wake up early, and not doing it, and all of a sudden, I can't even do what I say. Why is anyone else going to do what I say? Does this sound familiar to any of you? Sound familiar? Right? You have your internal dialogue and you're trying to get yourself to do things. And what I've realized and what I've been working on and what I've been training on and what I've gotten a lot better at is obeying myself, following myself, doing what I say I'm going to do, and more people follow me as a result. Just from me doing what I say I'm going to do. And there's two keys to this, which I'll talk about. We're going to talk about the actual strategy, because it's a lot easier said than done, right? So the first key to obeying yourself and doing more is not what you think. It is making fewer commitments. It is giving fewer orders, right? It is saying yes less often. It is so the amateur, the person who's not good at this, will say yes to everything. Like, yeah, I can be there in 30, and then you're not, right? Yeah, I'll be able to do this, and then you can't. And I can definitely, and then you don't, right? But the more advanced, more disciplined, with stronger willpower, you have to be a little bit choosier about what you can commit to, what you can say you can do, what you can say to yourself you can do. Like, I'm going to be careful before I give myself an order because I want to be sure that it's something that's actually going to get done, or I shouldn't even say it. So the first key is just making fewer orders for yourself, telling yourself to do fewer things, right? Stopping and evaluating before I make a plan, saying, am I really going to do this, right? Am I really going to commit to doing 100 pull-ups right now? I did 100 pull-ups last night. Is that really, before I did it, it's like, I thought about it for 5 minutes. Can I really do this? Because I don't want to say I'm going to do it and not be able to, right? Am I really going to say one more, or am I going to know that I really want to play a lot more and say, it's okay, I've got the next 3 hours I'm going to play, right? It's okay. So that's something to think about. Can I really commit to to being there on time. Maybe I just can't. Maybe I'm going to say maybe, and then I show up. Maybe I'll say no, and then I show up. Or maybe I say no and I don't do it, right? But that's something to think about, is before you make any kind of commitment to yourself and others, really think about it and try to reduce the volume of commitments you make. Because the more commitments, the more failure rate, right? The fewer commitments and the more certain, the more you'll actually be able to obey yourself and do as you say. So that's the number one key. A second key, and this comes from science, is public commitment. And what public commitment is telling a group like, yo, I'm going to do this, y'all hold me to this, or you have an accountability partner, I'm going to do this, hold me to this, I will do this, and that you can put money on it. If I don't do this, I'm going to have to pay you this, incentives, right, to actually getting the shit done. And I've got groups for that, I've got masterminds that I'm a part of, I see a lot of people do this and it works well. 60-day accountability challenge. I've got to pay everyone in the group $10 per day that I don't do this. If everyone who puts their PayPal email address in the comments, stuff like that. Public commitment, right? That I'm going to do this, and it drills in to I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, right? So find a partner, find a group, find an online group, find people who are good at doing what they say they're going to do, so that they have your respect and that you can obey them, so that you can obey yourself. So number one, key to obeying yourself, less commands, less commitments, be choosier. Number two, make public commitments. Number three, willpower and discipline. Realize how important it is for you to obey yourself. Realize how important it is for you to follow through with the things that you say. Realize that if you cannot do as you say, no one else will be able to do as you say either. If you cannot do as you say, if you can't follow yourself, you follow your own lead, people won't follow you either, and you're going to be in a bad spot in life. So if you say something and then you're like, I don't know, fucking do it anyways. Doesn't matter if it sucks now and you shouldn't have said, but you have to do it, or it's going to be hard for you to plan around yourself, and no one else is going to plan around you either. Right? Forget flaking on the other person. You're flaking on yourself when you don't do it. You're giving up on yourself. You're letting yourself down. And now the next time you say you're going to do something, you don't know if you're really going to do it, and you get into a pattern of flaking on yourself. Don't be a fucking flake on yourself. Come on. Use some willpower, use some discipline. Realize how important it is to actually do as you say, so that you can get shit done. And use this combination of obeying yourself, and here's what's going to be able to happen. You're going to have a superpower where you're going to be able to really change and set things up and say, hey, Trav, do 100 pull-ups right now. Fuck, dude, I don't know if I can do that. That seems like a lot, but I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. Bam. Did 100 pull-ups. All right, Trav, you're going to make a video a day, record a video a day for a year. Fuck, that's a big commitment. I don't know if I can do that, but I have to obey myself. Bam, done, right? That way, as Will Smith says, when I say it, it's done. Now that, if you really truly obey yourself, if you really truly do as you say it's done. Now, most people, that's not true. But if you have a high level of self-discipline, commitment to following your own orders, you say it's done. Right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do two things, a couple things here to help you. Daily exercise. The first thing is, think about what was the last time that you really did not do as you said you were going to do? Or how competent are you in this area? Are you doing what you say, or are you not doing what you say? Okay, think about that. And the second thing is the mistake a lack of willpower, or should you have not even made that commitment to begin with? Is that commitment too hard? Are you making too many commitments? Are you giving out too many orders? If so, that's okay, you can scale it back. And then the next thing is think, how can you be more public, make public commitment? I'll make public commitment right now. It's something I want to toy around with. I want to rise earlier. I'm rising too late right now. My commitment is not to set an alarm. It's not to get up the first time that I wake up. It's to get up the first time that I wake up and there's light. And I've made a public commitment to this, and I'm going to put a duration on it for a week because it's an experiment. I don't really know if it's actually going to make my life better because I do value the sleep that I have. But I notice that I go back to sleep, and if I go back to sleep once, it becomes a pattern where I end up sleeping in an extra hour and a half, and I get diminishing returns on that sleep. So follow my own orders right now, Trav. Tomorrow or this morning, when you wake up, if it's still dark, you can go back to sleep. If it's light out, you have to get up right then, right, for the next week. Can you do it? Yeah, fuck yeah, I can do that. It's a commitment. It is a commitment. I was choosy, I thought this one over. I made a public commitment, and I'm gonna use my willpower and discipline to enforce it. Now you do the same, leave a comment down below. The little changes add up, small tweaks add up to big change over time. Leave that comment down below, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Much love, peace, and speak soon. It's gonna be good. Leave that comment down below. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. Much love.